here's your wrestling news for October 10th, 2021. And your headlines for today include: Peacock gives it back, blocks Fox from sharing a big pay-per-view WWE footage. Who is behind Liv Morgan's loss in Queen's Crown tournament revealed, decision made minutes before the match. Tony Khan says AEW will beat WWE SmackDown next week. WWE superstars caught in limbo during WWE draft. Breaking news as Brock Lesnar is slated to take hiatus. Braun Strowman involved in heated confrontation at Mr. Olympia event. WWE hires another veteran as Performance Center coach, and more. We are kicking off today with SummerSlam 2021, as this year's show was a huge event with massive title matches, appearances by Edge and John Cena, as well as the returns of Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar. The show was full of highlights that WWE shared on its social media, but that wasn't the case with Fox or the USA Network. According to Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men Pro Wrestling podcast, neither the Fox or USA accounts were allowed to share any SummerSlam videos, and that rule came from Peacock. Instead, Fox and USA had to make do sharing GIFs of the show, despite both the USA Network and Peacock being owned by NBC Universal. This isn't the first time we've heard of broadcasters getting involved, as we reported this week that Fox blocked their streaming service Tubi from showing any MLW shows. NBC Universal paid WWE a lot of money for their footage, but so does Fox, and with the latter being banned from sharing SummerSlam videos, this led to WWE being caught in the middle between the two rival networks. Over to SmackDown, as the first ever Queen's Crown tournament got started this week, with one match getting serious backlash from fans. Despite the ton of support she has, Liv Morgan once again came up short as she lost to Carmella in a first-round match, but the result was almost the other way around. That's according to Fightful, who report that Morgan was originally the victor of the match, and it's unclear why WWE changed the finish. They report, Carmella ended up winning the match, but we're told that at one point ahead of the match, Liv Morgan was actually penciled in to win the match. It's also reported that this change was a last-minute decision by Vince McMahon himself, and that the 27-year-old Morgan was only told she'd be losing whilst in the gorilla position backstage. That same information was passed on to the referee, and instead of a win that would have seen her advance to the semifinals, Morgan lost to Carmella and her sparkly new mask. This is the 9th match to feature Morgan and Carmella since June, and although Morgan has won the majority of their matches, WWE continues to be hesitant on pushing the popular superstar when it actually matters. Hopefully Morgan's luck is better next week when SmackDown moves from Fox to FS1 with a stacked card. With their usual spot on Fox taken by Major League Baseball, WWE are appealing to fans with an appearance by Brock Lesnar, a non-title match between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, and both men's and women's tournament matches for an extra-long edition of the Blue Brand. According to cable listings, SmackDown will be a 2.5-hour show, which means their last 30 minutes will go head-to-head with AEW Rampage. On Twitter, AEW President Tony Khan threw the gauntlet down, saying he's looking forward to beating SmackDown, which he called WWE's main show, and said this face-off has been a long time coming. AEW Rampage will have to do a lot to beat SmackDown in their 30-minute war, as the Elite show's viewing figures have so far been nowhere close to what SmackDown gets, and it's also been announced that SmackDown's last 30 minutes will be commercial-free, but Khan is confident his show will emerge supreme next Friday night. This month, WWE shook up its rosters with its annual draft, but the results of which won't go into effect until after Crown Jewel. Typically, WWE keep their draft picks very close to the chest as they like to get the natural reaction from superstars, but that didn't apply to everyone on the main roster. Fightful Select reports that some WWE superstars were told about their draft destinations on Thursday, September 30th, one day prior to night 1 of the draft. Other superstars weren't told where they were going to land, but were able to figure it out by looking at their travel schedules and seeing whether they'd be working on TV each Monday or Friday. The results of the draft won't go into effect until after October 22nd, the SmackDown after Crown Jewel, and while some picks were shocking to say the least, some lucky few superstars were given a heads up about where they'll be for the next 12 months before the draft played out. Several names were called up from NXT 2.0 as part of the draft, but this process didn't happen backstage without its fair share of problems. In an update from Fightful, it was said that numerous talents from NXT 2.0 were stuck in a situation between their brand and the main roster without knowing what was going on. Like the other main roster talent, some superstars were told their future before the draft, but some weren't told until after the draft started. Several superstars were told they wouldn't be drafted, whilst others only learned that they would be drafted when their names were called on TV. With these superstars kept in limbo, nobody quite knew what was going on until after the draft and supplemental drafts were over. Many names such as Dakota Kai seemed ready for a call-up, but went undrafted this month, and we'll have to see what the likes of Hit Row, Austin Theory, Xia Li, Ridge Holland, and Mia Yim do next after being called up. Unlike the NXT roster, Brock Lesnar knows exactly what he's doing, as he'll be looking to capture his 4th Universal title later this month when he faces Roman Reigns. Lesnar's part-time schedules are famous for being lucrative and easy, and once again, fans should enjoy the Beast incarnate while they have the chance. A source indicates that whatever the result of Crown Jewel, Lesnar will once again be off TV after the October 21st show, with one source noting, "We were told that after Crown Jewel, Lesnar is not scheduled for any more WWE shows this year, and the next time he's scheduled to wrestle is during the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in St. Louis." If Lesnar is gone after Crown Jewel, then that perhaps confirms that Roman Reigns will be retaining in Riyadh, especially if WWE plans on doing an interpromotional match pitting the WWE and Universal Champions against each other at Survivor Series. With that said, WWE has had Lesnar be a part-time champion in the past, with all of his title reigns since his 2012 return seeing Brock make just a handful of appearances as champion. Roman Reigns is reportedly slated to carry the Universal title for the rest of the year, as WWE still has tons of faith in the Tribal Chief, and time will tell if even the Beast incarnate has to acknowledge Reigns in what'll be Lesnar's last appearance of the year. This week, former WWE superstar Braun Strowman was involved with the Mr. Olympia competition, and tensions at the event were at an all-time high. In a video shared by 9 Line Apparel, the former Universal Champion can be seen brawling at the event, but this doesn't seem like a spontaneous fight that broke out. Given that Strowman himself shared the video promoting the event on NBC, odds are this brawl was all part of the show for fans who attended live. Strowman is reportedly trying to get his job back in WWE, so maybe he thinks this video will show the company that he can still throw down when needed. Strowman's management has said that he will make his future plans known very soon, and it's expected that he'll debut later this month as Titan in Impact Wrestling. The Monster Among Men reportedly had a huge asking price for appearances, one that the Mr. Olympia connection was able to afford, and by the looks of it, Strowman arrived to the event looking for a fight. And we're ending today with WWE, who have hired yet another veteran of the ring to their performance center. After hiring Ken Doane last week, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Allison Danger is a full-time coach at the center after wrestling from 2000 to 2013. Throughout her lengthy career, Danger worked for Shimmer and ROH and will be working alongside Zoe Stark, who she trained as a wrestler. The sister of Steve Corino, Danger has years of expertise in the ring, and now she's bringing that knowledge to the latest crop of WWE recruits. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.